Today we do a oil change video, something nice and simple, but by request of Baby Bear. So this is her car, and we're going to go through how to do an oil change and explain all the pieces, parts, so that she knows how to do it. And if it helps anybody else, that's even better. So, all right. So, hood latch. Pop the hood latch down here. Obviously, best time to do an oil change is when the vehicle is cold. I appreciate it so it doesn't burn my hands. Off the hood, hood latch. Good stay in. Oil cap. Pop the dipstick. A little bit. So, just loosen the oil cap, pop the dipstick. Grab a small set of jack stands. I find it to be easier to jack it up from behind the front tires. Now that there's a little bit of room under there, my target is the triangular bracket right there. Push the head of the jack. That catches the subframe. Gives you a solid place to push off of without damaging the vehicle, and you're not pushing on anything plastic. So, just a little bit of paint because it's a little round. Then you got a backboard better shot. Oil pan. When you get under here, these Kias have these nice little plastic caps on here that are not fun to work around. They don't give you a lot of room. Most everything underneath these are plastic. So pop the plastic cap out, set that aside. Oil filter's up in there. Oil drain is in this one. So, again, not a lot of room. There's our oil drain plug. So there's your metric wrenches. Top box, a few drawers down. Appropriate sockets that you need is right there. For the gimbal bearing remover, that is right here. I know you don't know your way around my toolbox very well, so Baby Bear, there you go. All right, 17 millimeter is what we're going with. You can make sure you get a good grip on the plug and yank it, and then you won't get any oil all over you. You'll get it all in the pan. So we'll start with that. Next, work on the filter. See what kind of contortionist I need to be to get into this filter. I remember it from last time, and it's not fun. All right, so this is not the official oil filter wrench, but it just so happens in my application it fits perfect. This is for my boat. This is for removing part of the I/O and getting to the gimbal bearing, and it just so happens works perfect, and I like this better than an oil filter wrench or a strap. Just so remember that, baby bear, when you're looking through my toolbox. And all you got to do is put a socket on the end of this, and all that plastic you got to go through, it gets right up in there perfect, and you can almost just put it on and tighten it and loosen it by hand and just barely snug it. Doesn't take too much with the oil filter. Don't forget, when you pull the oil filter, you always look for the rubber ring. If the rubber ring didn't come off with it, then you got to get up in there, scrape the block, and pull that rubber ring off. You want to make sure you leave it on there. Now we'll prime the other filter and put it on. So we'll just take a little bit of oil, kind of fill the filter up, let it bubble over, take some, rub it on the rubber ring, make sure that's lubed up. So once we got the new filter on, wipe everything down, make sure you don't leave any oil, so it's nice and clean. Wipe it all down, make sure there's no oil leaking off of it. It looks good. Then we gotta put the oil plug back in. Always look at the oil, make sure there's no metal shavings on it. Find a clean surface, wipe the end of it off, and reinstall. Doesn't have to be overly tight. Just make sure it's snug. Okay. Replace the plastic. All right. Pull your oil fill cap off. Set it somewhere where you're not going to drop it. There's a lot of dirt around the outside of that. Just make sure you don't knock any of that in the engine. We'll replace the air cleaner here in a second. We'll get the appropriate funnel in the funnel cabinet. Blue one works the best. And start pouring. Now, if you look, you see the oil containers are not made to be poured this way. They're made to be poured this way. So you minimize the splash and the glug of the oil. So we'll let that sit and drain. We'll get more out. And yes, we do use Napa products in all of our vehicles. No sponsorship here, just been around mechanics all my life and vehicles, and I prefer at least Napa filters. Don't have to have Napa oil. It just so happens that we got a deal on this today. So this is what was on sale, but it was fully synthetic, so that's what we're going with. So again, most of you out there probably are good with oil changes and don't need an oil change tutorial video, but you know, this is for the baby bear. So as she gets out here and gets to using Papa Bear's tools, then she knows what to do. So this Kia, we got 6 quarts. I'm gonna put about 5 1/4, about 5 1/2 in it. And if we need more than that, we'll use it to top it off. for the young lady. Your measurements are on the side of your quart of oil, and you can see where your oil line is so you know how much you've used. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start it and let the oil circulate and fill the oil filter. Make sure the oil light's not on. Make sure we don't have any leaks. We will drop the vehicle down off the jack stands and then recheck with the dipstick to make sure that we're at the proper level. We start it, let it run for a second, circulate the oil, take a look. No leaks. We're in good shape. Now we'll drop it off the jack stands and make sure everything's topped off. Almost forget these small things anytime we do projects. I just assume that most people know it, or that you'll know it when you watch it. So, in an effort to not assume that, this jack, obviously when you push on it, it raises the vehicle. But if you turn the handle to the left, you watch that bolt, if you turn it to the left ever so slightly and watch and go really slow, just a quarter turn to the left, we'll lower the vehicle. All right, next we're gonna swap out the air filter. While that oil is settling, you just pop these two clips on the end, lift up. There's two locks on the back edge here. Make sure that those come undone. Check the old filter. Actually doesn't look too bad, but we're going to replace it anyway because it's due. So let's make sure this matches. Perfect. All right. These tabs, push the tabs in the rear first, lock them in. Once you get it seated, just snap your clips up. And it's that easy. And I suggest, with the day and time that we live in, that if you can blow these out and reuse them and keep them as spares, that you consider doing that, so you don't have to go buy another one. I'm going to go ahead and blow this one out and clean it, and I'm going to keep this as a backup if we need it. See my awesome handwriting? That way you can find it. Your vehicle, Kia Forte, it's our backup filter. Always use a clean rag. First swipe doesn't count. You just got to get all the oil off of it. That's from it. The oil splashing around in the motor gives you a false reading. So we'll do that again. Give it a second wipe. Hold it like this. And it looks like we are full. So we don't want to go any higher than that. So that little over 5 quarts worked out perfect. We will keep this as a spare for your vehicle in the cabinet. Funnel out, just cover it with a rag so it doesn't drip all over everything. Place your cap, clean up your mess, and we'll check the rest of the fluid. All right, so to check the rest of the fluids, coolant is right here in the front. Just make sure you can see. Coolant level is right there. It is a little over full. The F line is down about halfway on this overflow container, but that's not going to hurt anything. Coolant looks good. All right, first video file was corrupt, so we'll try this again. Turn the key to the on position, but not starting. It'll finish the systems check. The wrench in the third position up here is the one you want to go to. You hit this button until it goes to the wrench on the screen, and then you push and hold the enter button to reset the service. We only drove a few miles before I figured out that that video file was corrupt. And then when you're done with that, you make sure you put your new sticker up there, which again, those are just those little labels I have.